You're listening to Career Compass with Patrick and Cha-Cha on Base 101.1 FM.
A lot of people, have jobs. Some people do not have jobs. And one thing is for sure, once we get our job offers, we just decide to go into the workspace without knowing how to act, whether there's some certain things that you need to do to behave yourself or to stand out. On Base 101.1 FM, we Patrick Umar every single Monday from 10 o'clock to 10:30. We get to talk about what you should do in an office space. My name again is Cha-Cha. You can call me the Happy Fairy. Today, let's talk about presence, what we call charisma. I mean, there's something that can set you apart from every other qualified candidate or can set you aside from every other colleague that you have around you. Something that is not in your resume but is felt in every room that you enter. We're talking about executive presence. Now, some people can walk into a space or be in an environment and never get noticed. They're just like furniture. They're just right there doing their jobs and nothing to show. But I mean, let's start off by talking about what executive presence it is. And, is it just about how you carry yourself or how you dress?
I mean, that's a wonderful way of introducing it here, like furniture. This is an interesting topic because I wish somebody had told me this secret a lot earlier in my career because, starting off my career, I just focused on the technical part of it, knowing your job, getting the certifications, knowing the technical part of doing the job. But,
right.
The truth is as you progress, there's certain things that are important, So back to your question, what executive presence is really all about is a combination of three different things, right? It's a combination of what you call gravitas, your communication, and your appearance. I'd summarize it as if you summarize it, it's like saying it's your steez, yeah?
In technological terms.
Yes, in technological terms, executive presence is all about the steez, all right? It's not just about how you dress or how you carry yourself. It goes a step further by, it's your ability to inspire confidence, all right? Command respect.
Right.
All right? It's the it factor, if I may call it that. And that it factor is the steez factor, all right? That makes people actually believe you can lead.
I mean, in today's job market, why is it so important to have steez? I mean, I know how to do my job. I have the resume for it. I can, deliver. I mean, but why is it so important for me to have steez, in quotes? I mean, we often hear skills and experience, but why is it intangible? Why is this intangible quality so important for career advancement? A lot of people have said, just do your job and leave. Now you are adding that we need to be composed. And, swagalicious.
Yes, so, all right, so the truth is this, right? Your skills and experience will get you the job. But if you're looking to get promoted, your skills and experience will not get you promoted. It's your executive presence that will get you the promotion. And, the career landscape is very competitive, right? Everybody has, a strong resume, they're from good schools. But the truth is what separates the good from the great is the ability to walk into a room and command that respect.
Right.
Let me give this example. So I think I've given this example before. I didn't get it, when I was still an analyst, in the trenches back in the days. I was the most senior analyst in the team, right? And yet, when we used to have our town halls, I would prepare the slides. I would set the calendar invite. I would literally go around everybody's desk to pry them out of their desks to attend the physical town hall back in the day. But you know what? There was another colleague who was always being selected to do the introduction and to compare the town hall. And that comparing the town hall in the HR team was like the number one visibility. You're like the poster boy for HR.
Right.
And I wondered why this junior analyst who didn't do as much as I was doing technically I always got passed up for him. And I was the one doing all the grunt work. Until one day I sat back, I was like, this guy.
What does he have that I don't?
The way he's always calm, composed, his white is always sparkling. In fact, Monday to Thursday, this guy wears nothing but white with his tie. The only thing changes is the tie and the jacket and pants, But this guy is cool as a cucumber. His dressing is spotless. His communication was always on point. And I figured it out much later. I was like, oh, so that's why this guy gets put as a poster boy. Yeah, he had the presence beyond his job role.
Right.
He was an analyst, but he had the presence of a team lead or even a manager. So that's why I'd say, look, if I had stayed there long enough, I wouldn't have been surprised if he got promoted before I did. Yeah,
it's quite understandable. But I want to take you back to the first conversation that we had on this topic. I mean, you mentioned something that at first I was like, wait, be that. You said gravitas, communication, and appearance. Now let's break those down. We've spoken about appearance, but what is gravitas, and how can someone develop that sense of credibility and decisiveness?
So, I mean, out of the three things you mentioned, right, gravitas is the most difficult to fake. I mean, you can dress to impress, you can borrow accents to communicate, but you see, gravitas is what they call, Yorubas will call abinibi. If you know day your body, so it's that composure, it's that integrity. Yes, it's character. Okay, let me call it composure, character, intellectual horsepower, if I may put it that way. The way leaders think is completely different from the way regular team members would think. Okay, they think with the end in mind. They think end to end.
Right.
They see the big picture. Right. The ability to remain calm in stressful situations. I'll give this example. There was one time my company was having a major event. That was like the biggest event of the year, and the success of that event would have been the difference between a P and an L in our financial statement, right? So I was leading the project internally, and on one of the days of the project was like a 3-4 day event. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. Okay, the server went down. Our partners,
people.
I'm telling you, they came out. The partners in India, the platform we're using was down. NEPA took lights, backup, diesel generator. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and I was running helter skelter. Running after facility, the gen, running after calling our partners in India. What's up with the app? Are we back on? And they were, so I was literally fighting fires. And guess what my CEO did? My CEO sat down at the high table, crossed the leg, and was sipping on her water. And I couldn't just figure out. I was like, how come?
What's in the apple?
Doesn't my CEO care? At a point, my CEO just called me like, Patrick, take it easy. Don't kill yourself.
Right.
And I just couldn't figure out, why are you calm? This is fire on the mountain. Run.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the time to run. And my CEO sat down, maintained her steez. That was gravitas. I mean, she must have figured out. Now I know better. I paid my dues. So I know better. If I'm organizing such an event tomorrow, I make sure I have a plan A, B, C.
Right.
That's gravitas. You're thinking ahead, so you don't have to lose your cool. You don't have to, I hope that was kind of clear.
Yeah, getting a job is, I was going to say it's easy, but not easy like that.
Easy.
But getting a job is the easy part. Keeping a job and being very, did I say visible or very, maybe they no say they do your work, nobody say they just dash you job. It's quite important. I couldn't explain that in English.
Let's just say thriving at your job.
You go to school. My name is Chacha, the one and only Happy Fairy. I've got the almighty HR in the studio, Patrick Umor. We're talking about having steez at the workplace, making sure you have that executive presence. You might think that you're at the workplace, you don't really care. You're not a manager, you're not in this, but what is the point of having executive presence? Now, he's already told us that there's so many things to it. There is, this type of presence that people need to notice you. And he also mentioned that communication is part of, the whole steez in this. Let's move to that. Now, it seems quite straightforward, but what are some of the subtle aspects of communication that define executive presence? Some people might think communication, just talk to people. What is it about that can really stamp you and stamp your presence in your workplace?
All right, so here's an inside hack. Right? Let me give you this insight. Have you ever There's this thing we call big man speak.
I know the laughter. You
from
get that.
the-
You have the
that-
laughter.
yes,
Hey,
that's
God, I
it.
beg.
No, but if you notice, and they do this, some leaders do this intentionally. Notice you rarely hear. So let's differentiate between Agberu speak and big man speak. What's the subtle? Are there subtle differences?
Of course.
So notice, leaders, they speak with a calm, even tone, right? Now, why do they speak with this calm, even tone? Do you know why?
Tell us.
It forces you to listen.
Right.
Compared to if I come in, hey, I'm speaking with
Yeah,
a loud
it's like,
voice.
what is this
Rather,
noise?
you instead of being forcing your audience to listen, you're blaring your voice in their ears, so people kind of shirk away. But when you speak with a calm, look, in order for them to hear you, they have to stop what they're doing and consciously listen to you.
Right.
All right. So that's part of the steez. You know, it's part of communication. It's not just what you say, but at that level, how you say it really matters. Another important part of communication that is often easily overlooked is that communication is a two-way street, right? You need to listen as much as, in fact, you need to listen much more than you speak, because at that level, you cannot afford to miscommunicate.
Right.
All right. And when you speak, your message should be clear. It should be confident. It should be persuasive. One of the most confident leaders that I love hearing them speak was Barack Obama. And remember, in communication, your non-verbal cues are just as important as your verbal cues. Just like I said, when you're speaking publicly, in order to avoid gesticulating too much, you can adopt the steeple pose. When you want to emphasize on a point, the things I didn't know, it's wrong to point while you're speaking.
Now, the most, what people will say at first, the most prominent that people will say as a leader is how you dress. Some people believe that once you're a boss, now native, you're supposed to wear. You have to come with your
Did you
your
just
sharp.
jab me? Did you just
Oh
jab
my
me?
goodness, you were native. Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people assume that you have to have senator to look like you're rich. I mean, how important is appearance in, maintaining these steez? And also, what's the difference between dressing for success and just looking the part?
All right, so dressing is very important. Okay, it's not just it's your first impression. However, let's not make it seem like it's the only impression. It's not the final judgment. But really, you don't have a second chance to create a good first impression. Right. So, one thing I would say as a golden rule in your dressing: don't just dress for your current role. Dress for your desired role.
Mado.
Yes. So if you are an analyst and you want to become a manager, please don't dress as an analyst. Start dressing as a manager. Look the part. All right. Start speaking, although we're not talking about communication, it's speaking like a manager, and then, they say dress how you want to be addressed, right? Because you're looking the part, unconsciously people will start addressing you, as the manager you desire to be. So don't dress for your present, dress for the desired future. All right. So the goal is that your appearance, it's a supportive element in your overall steez. Please don't let your dressing be a distraction.
Very well said. Don't go and wear gold and go and wear this. Just look good and feel good. We're talking about how to maintain executive presence at the workspace. So, I mean, we've gone through all of that. For the next couple of minutes, let's just wrap this up. For someone listening, and this person is just thinking to myself, if I say I do like blah, 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 at work, how can I improve my executive presence? I mean, what are the 2 or 3 immediate actionable steps that they can take starting from tomorrow? Because I'm not even going to lie, me too, I'm thinking of it. I gas update myself.
All right, so we mentioned 3 things, right? Your gravitas, your communication, your dressing. All right, so let's take it from the bottom. Look, if you need to rearrange your wardrobe, rearrange, look good, smell good, dress to impress, dress for the role you believe you deserve. Okay, be mindful, practice communication. Okay, if a CEO could get a voice coach, right? To help him eliminate speak without an accent, help him improve his communication. I mean, that's something you need to probably do. If you need to get a coach or a mentor to help you, there are many things. So it's not a one size fits all, right? So the areas of executive presence someone like Chacha would need to work on will be different from the areas of executive presence that maybe a Patrick would need to work on. So a coach could help you get started on those areas of improvement, okay? Give you feedback, even if not a coach, a friend, someone that can give it to you for real, right?
Can tell you hot.
Tell you the truth without pulling their punches. Chacha, you need to work on this area. You need to, Chacha, why do you use the same hair Monday to Friday? All those things, you need someone that can give you an honest third party perspective, okay? And I'll wrap it up with this. Look, everybody have their unique strengths, all right? So be your authentic self. A mistake many people make is they try to be like somebody else. So imagine Patrick trying to be like Barack Obama. No, Obama's steez or executive presence is completely different from mine.
True.
He speaks differently, he talks differently, he dresses. I mean, he's in a different environment, a different world than I am. So be your authentic self, right? But, just make that effort to start the journey to progress.
Right. Come on. Now, you already said the major mistake is being somebody else. And I've seen that a lot. So many people assume certain positions. I feel like, the last person who did this was acting like that. How about I do that? And a lot of times it doesn't really work.
It doesn't.
Because you're just fooling yourself.
I mean, have you seen people that try to speak like their boss or they try to dress like their boss or they try to, you just mimic people and you just fail
when you're not being yourself. But there's also a popular phrase that says fake it till you make it. Does that apply here? Is executive presence something that you genuinely have to cultivate from the inside out?
Yeah, I mean, you've literally answered the question. Yes, we have this fake it till you make it mentality. You're not faking anything, because if you fake it, you can only keep up an act for so long, right? The better approach is, rather than faking it, act as if you are already there. So if you were a manager now, how would you act? If you were a manager now, how would you behave? All right. Start learning and inculcating the culture and traits of the role you desire. Internalize it.
Right.
That's the point.
Any final thoughts in conclusion?
So this is one of those lessons I wish I had learned earlier on. I'd say this: your resume gets you in the door, but your presence defines your path.
Come on, this is Base 101.1 FM, Lagos City. My name is Chacha. You can call me the Happy Fairy. In the meantime, how do we get through to you, Almighty HR, just in case there was a situation where someone couldn't say something to their HR? They want to reach you. How can they find you?
So you can reach me everywhere you go. That's it. Everywhere you go: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere apart from Twitch, right? Patrick UMO. Reach out.
You're listening to Career Compass with Patrick and Chacha on Base 101.1 FM.